Some places live only in myths, whispered in dreams, or found on pages of forgotten tales, but Fairydale is different. It's not just a place. It's a doorway, a secret pulse beneath the ordinary world beating with magic danger and a destiny waiting to be claimed. When you hear the name Fairydale, it doesn't just echo like a fairy tale, it stirs something deeper like a calling. And for those who answer it, life is never the same again. The story begins with Leora Quinn, a quiet, bookish girl who lives in the small town of Greythorn, surrounded by gray skies, old secrets, and the kind of silence that wraps around you like a second skin. Her life is ordinary, painfully so. School is a blur, her family distant, her world a muted shade of routine. But Leora has always felt like she didn't belong, not just in Greythorn, but in this reality. Her nights are haunted by dreams of silver forests, glowing rivers, and creatures that whisper her name. She's always dismissed them as her imagination until the day she finds the map. The map is old, drawn on parchment that crackles beneath her fingers and marked with a single name written in ink that shimmers under the moonlight. Fairydale, something about it grips her soul like recognition. It's not a place she's ever heard of, and yet she feels it's been calling her forever. When a strange boy named Cale appears, with eyes like molten gold and a voice that feels like it carries centuries, he tells her the truth. Fairydale is real, and she's one of the few who can enter it. Cale is no ordinary boy. He's a guardian of the veil between the human world and Fairydale, a realm hidden from mortals, where magic is alive and fate is written in stardust. But Fairydale is dying, its core poisoned by a curse that's spreading through its lands and bleeding into the human world. The magic is fading, and with it the balance between the two realms. Only someone from Leora's bloodline can restore it. She is the last in a line of Veilkeeper's protectors born once every few centuries, and her awakening has begun, reluctant but drawn by forces she can't explain. Leora crosses into Fairydale with Cale through a portal hidden in the forest outside Greythorn. What she finds on the other side is nothing like she imagined. Fairydale is breathtaking, wild, and ancient, with skies that change color, rivers that sing, and creatures made of moonlight. But it's also broken. Shadows creep across its once radiant lands, and the Fae, who once ruled it with grace and wisdom, are fractured into factions, fighting for control. The throne is empty, the heart of Fairydale is fading, and a dark queen known only as Morin is rising with power stolen from forbidden magic. As Leora journeys deeper into Fairydale, she meets allies and enemies, both cloaked in beauty and danger. Among them is Thorn, a winged warrior with a past scarred by betrayal and trust issues sharper than his blades. Then there's Alira, a seer, whose visions are cursed to bring madness and silence. And finally, the Whispering Tree, a sentient, ancient guardian that speaks only in riddles, but knows the true story of Leora's bloodline. Each of them holds pieces of the puzzle too, Leora's identity and the fate she must embrace. But it's not just about saving Fairydale. It's about saving herself, because the curse poisoning Fairydale is tied to her very soul, and the more she resists her role, the faster the darkness spreads. She begins to unravel secrets about her mother's disappearance, about the veil, and the day the stars chose her. Every step she takes in Fairydale strips away the world she knew and rebuilds her into something new, something powerful. But power comes with choices, and Leora is forced to question what she's willing to lose for a realm she barely understands. Romance weaves its way into the story, with Cale always at her side, protective and stubborn, but hiding pain deeper than the lakes of Fairydale. Their bond grows not from fairy dust but from fire battles, scars, and silent moments between the chaos. Cale sees not just the girl she is, but the queen she might become. But even love is not safe in a place like Fairydale, and betrayal comes from those closest. Leora must decide who she can trust when the lines between friend and foe blur, and when love becomes the greatest weakness of all. The climax builds in intensity as the Dark Queen Morin launches her assault with creatures born of nightmares and corrupted magic that twists reality. The final key to restoring Fairydale lies in the Tree of Origins, a mystical relic buried in the ruins of First Light, protected by trials meant to test a Veilkeeper's soul. Leora and her allies must face illusions of their greatest fears, fight beasts that feed on memory, and solve riddles whispered by dying stars. One by one, they fall until only Leora remains standing with the fate of two worlds in her trembling hands. In a breathtaking confrontation with Morin, the truth is finally revealed. Morin was once a Veilkeeper like Leora, twisted by heartbreak and the refusal to accept fate. She represents what Leora could become if she gives in to the temptation of power. The battle is not just of magic but of wills. And when Leora embraces the light within her, the true power of a Veilkeeper blooms not from destruction but creation. In a final act of sacrifice, she restores the heart of Fairydale and chooses to remain behind to heal it from within. But her story doesn't end there. In a haunting epilogue, Greythorn changes. The forest glows again, children dream of glowing rivers, and Leora becomes a legend. Some say she visits in dreams, others claim she walks between worlds. And Cale, standing at the edge of both realms, watches the stars, waiting for the day she returns, not as a savior but as a queen reborn. Fairydale is a tale of transformation where magic is not just sparkles but soul-deep, where destiny isn't given but earned through courage and sacrifice. It is a story about finding the extraordinary inside the ordinary and stepping into the unknown, not because it's safe but because it's calling. Leora's journey is one that resonates with anyone who has ever felt like they were meant for something more. This book delivers a rich blend of lush fantasy, emotional depth, and epic stakes woven through with lyrical world-building and unforgettable characters. Fairydale is not just a place you visit, it's a realm that lives in you long after the final page. For listeners craving an audiobook filled with mystery, romance, magic, and a heroine who rises from doubt to destiny, Fairydale is an experience you don't want to miss.